All right, guys, welcome. Gather around, grab your popcorn, get your Ben and Jerry's ice cream, whatever your favorite vice is, whatever you're into. It is story time, Theta. Hey now. Let's see if it's working here. Come on, Lord. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a few minutes here. Welcome. Gather around, grab your popcorn, Ben and Jerry's ice cream, whatever your favorite vice is, whatever you're into. It is story time, Theta. Okay. So this is a very big question I get asked at least 37 times a day on here. Um some people are like, he seems so nice and talented, but I don't want to go to his streams if he's gonna just shake his butt and talk about his butt. Yeah, giggity giggity. So I understand that now. Before I had blinders on and I didn't think it could be weird because it's just my own personal life and I've internalized a lot of it. So but I do share about it time to time sporadically on here. But there is a very serious story, quote unquote, that goes along, and there is a method to my madness. Now, I don't promote myself as having the world's nicest ass. Everybody else says it for me, so I don't have to. But it is so overwhelming and so crazy that it simply needs to be talked about in some capacity. So, here we go. Where should I start? Uh, Give me a second. I got hiccups. Oh. Now, this is a little gift from my subs. If I wanted to get a bunch of new people in here, I should have just kept the stream with the generic title because that's more better for the algorithm. I didn't know that when I had my first channel. I thought, well, I'll reward my viewers. I'll have a snappy title. I'll have a new topic every time I go live. And that way I will have two things accomplished. I'll get better at my craft and people won't get tired of me too quickly. But then I realized that was such a tall order. With my ADHD, I'm all over the place and I'm second guessing myself. So some things that I assumed would come together didn't even come close. And now I'm just like reeling with the feeling. So trying to get back on track. Um, a little smoke to balance me out a little bit, and this will loosen me up. I'm kind of uptight right now. So I had a really crazy life being raised by crazy step parents. They didn't let me listen to any music. I couldn't have friends over. I was always getting punched in the face and beaten down. They poured hot sauce down my throat when they thought I was exaggerating, which turned out not to be true. All that other stuff. I know, wham, wham, wham. I'm just trying to start at the very beginning. So when I went to work, that was my one solace where people were cool to me and I could just be myself and just be cool with the customers. I worked at like, I don't want to say the exact name, but basically like a mini mart type gas station, like a 7-Eleven thing in my early 20s. And the customers would come in and they'd flirt with me and I'm like, okay, whatever. I had those really bad horn rim glasses. I looked really nerdy. But I think this was around the time Napoleon Dynamite came out. This no wait a minute. That may be way later, 2000s. There was some movie where the nerd was glamorized or romanticized or whatever, and they thought I was cool. But anyway, so by the way, sound off in the chat, all you lurkers. You might just find the stories relatable, or just a novelty, either one. But the women would dare themselves to pinch my butt and smack my ass while I'm on the clock, by the way. And they would just do that. And I just thought it was a normal thing. I had low self-esteem. I thought, well, they're doing it to everybody, not just me. And then come to find out later on, I was being singled out. But when I moved out of the house in my 20s, I got a good job working at Blockbuster. And I was manager there for a while. And still, the women would clock in and immediately grab my ass. Now, I realize now that's sexual harassment, and it never works the other way around. Not like we'd want it to, right? But I've always been a gentleman. But I just kind of put that in the normal category of my brain overall. I didn't try to over analyze it. But it was like this persistent thing. And when I worked at like it's kind of like a Spencer's gift store. We'll just say Spencer's. I was the product demonstration specialist. So I basically did all the stuff that nobody else wanted to do. But I thought it was fun. So I dressed up in the character costumes outside and danced around. I know you can totally picture that, right? People are like, that sucks. I don't want to make a fool of myself. I don't care how much you're paying me. But I would actually get raises because I would bring people into the store with my enthusiasm. I mean, I know you guys know I'm good at that. And I would, do the little remote control cars, the robots, whatever was the promotional product of the month. I'd try to like upsell the customer on that before they got into the store and just screw around with it. But then it was crazy because I was outdoors, so the boss wasn't watching, and so ladies would come up, get pictures next to me, and then grab my ass really quick and run away, or run up and spank it and run away laughing. I'm like, oh, how dare they? But I can never figure out if I liked it or not. I was always a little bit confused. I guess I was kind of flattered because I was going through so much turmoil. So I didn't really have a way to analyze it. But later on, about 22, I became a certified lifeguard at Venice Beach. I wore the little red Speedos and stuff. And I was totally professional while on the clock. But once I got off my shift, I would just wear the little thong and just walk up and down the boulevard, getting pictures with all the tourists. And I was famous for it, And I was like, and in my mind, I was like, okay, this is something that takes zero effort. And I can just detach, turn off my brain from all the other stressors in my life and just like vibe with people. So it wasn't that I wanted to show off, but maybe I was trying to overcompensate in a way. But I just let the butt speak for itself. Nobody ever was like, ew, a guy in a Speedo. They're like, oh, give me a piece of that ass. But as I got a little older, I came to find out people associate that with being gay. Like, if you bring up your butt in conversation or whenever I dance, I've never been a suave dancer, even when I'd go on the dance floor with my girlfriends and meeting chicks and stuff. Like, I've always just done the Jim Carrey dance. I've always just liked that, and I think that's hurt me to some degree because it sends out the wrong signal. But I didn't know, I wasn't picking up on the same wavelength as others. I was just saying, dancing with abandon, trying to drum up excitement, enthusiasm with other people. And I thought that was a good thing, But yeah, then especially black girls, they would all get pictures with me, grabbing my butt. It was just crazy. Later on, I became a DJ. Thanks, brother. And I'm like, okay, nobody's going to grab my ass here, This is a little more professional. I'm kind of in the background, just running the show and whatever. I could just fade into the background. Well, I did these parties I did this wedding. It was all these French chicks. They were so hot. And the second I put on the first song, they ran out to the dance floor, and I was doing like a demonstration dance because nobody was dancing. I tried to motivate them. And then immediately these three wrecking ball huge butts smash me like a trash compactor, like the Star Wars movie, you know, where the walls are closing in. I'm like, oh geez, what the. But it was awesome. And then I felt like a pinball. They were like blasting me with these amazing butts. But in my 20s, I was just very mellow, very nerdy with my glasses, always just working on my little projects. I still have a lot of that in me. Now I'm trying to branch out and do at least half of my stuff social, you know, just for the challenge of it all. But back then, I was just like, I could kind of take it or leave it. But what else? And my boss, he was crazy. He would say, "Oh, you're doing the greatest job ever," because I would use his equipment. I couldn't afford my own. So I'd pack it up into my little compact car, fold down all the seats, and make it work. But one time I was late, or no, one time I got into a fender bender, and I still had to make it to the gig, so I had to rent a car, frantically try to cram all my stuff into the back, pay super extra just to get there. It was such a nightmare. And this is way before GPS, way before all this other stuff. Before each gig, I would do the prep work the night before, and I'd preview all the songs, and I'd try to learn where the fade in moments are, because this is on an old school console with the old faders and stuff. Thanks, I think. No, I don't. I'm not a good speaker. That's why I do it. I'm trying to challenge myself in a way where I won't be disappointed in the results no matter what, you know. But yeah, but I have to work on being concise. Like if I wanted viewers for this stream, I could have just gave it a generic title. I'd have 30 to 50 people in here, you know. So sometimes it's just the algorithm. And when I try to give somebody a little gift in the best way I know possible, uh, doesn't always work for me. But I guess that's okay. But then I started working out in my mid 20s, and I kind of dipped back and forth because I would have to move a lot, and I was sick of paying the gym initiation fees and all the hidden fees and stuff. So I finally got a home gym, but I never used it, and I gained weight. But then in my late 30s, I started working out again, and my ass got rounder and better, 1,000 times better than it ever was in my 20s, which is crazy to think. So I'm like, oh no. But it was always like a bubble butt and round and looked firm, but it wasn't actually firm until I started working out. I didn't know I could stack muscle back there, and my body would adapt to it, you know. And by the way, when you have that glute muscle, it strengthens your stride across the room. You just feel more powerful. You feel all the parts tying together. You feel a unique synergy when you move. Even though you can gain weight through the muscle gain, you don't feel heavier. You feel like your stride, like everything is working together for the greater good of the body when you move forward. But what else? Then I did an aqua size class for old ladies, and that was crazy too, because they would whisper about my butt when I'd get out of the water and stuff. I'd pretend like I didn't hear it, but it's kind of nice. I kind of like it. I mean, they're all 60s to 80s, but some of them are okay looking. Hopefully they won't watch this, but but it's just been a thing. I never tried to market my rear end, except when I was a stripper. I just did like bachelorette parties and stuff. but they really liked me because I made everyone feel comfortable just by being goofy right off the bat, and I would ease them into the equation, and then I would just loosen up, and everyone would loosen up, um, and kind of follow my lead. Um, but I don't have a ton of like leadership qualities. But some projects I have to work on my own just because I don't know when I'm going to be concentrating the best. So I have to give myself wiggle room to do all that stuff. Yeah, you guys can ask me whatever you want. Let me see. But I love goth chicks all the time. And then my college years, they would invite me to these like bondage clubs and stuff. I'm like, that's kind of gay. But then they would convince me to dress up gayish. They'd be like, oh, you put those cute little buns on display. But I didn't realize the ass doesn't take precedent over the gay vibes that potentially, you know what I mean? So I wasn't really thinking about how I looked in my mind. I was just like, oh, this is fun. Anyone would do this, you know? But I wasn't like reading the room all the time properly. My friends were proud of me. But that was in my raver days too. We'd take ecstasy, and stay up all night dancing in San Fran. There used to be a site like Plur Life. It was like MySpace for ravers, and it was a cool place to hook up and find like secret parties and stuff. Well, not secret, but like, you know. But if you do that stuff to like escape your problems and stuff, that could be not a good way to go. Only talking for 17 minutes. It feels like an hour. I'm going to restart this and do a finalized version of it. But this is more a freeform thingy. Let's see. No, but I want to entertain in the purest way possible. I don't need any accolades beyond if I'm on the right track or not. I don't care. Well, it is nice when women come in here and flirt with me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 44 years old, so I can't just like go out on the town and get hit on by everyone like I used to. But I shouldn't, just because I'm used to something, I shouldn't have an expected uh, attitude, entitlement. I don't have that, you know. But it's so noteworthy how the women all grabbed my ass in every job I had. I'm trying to think if there's one scenario where they didn't. Oh, there was always one woman that was extra professional and she never joined in the festivities, and they would make fun of her. Like, come on, it's so firm, just smack it. It's like, how dare you? And then I kind of respected her as the years went by. I kind of thought about that, like, okay. Because now that wouldn't fly in any environment. Well, technically, it was not legal back then for them to be sexually harassing me, but I let it slide. I don't know. I was too busy laughing to figure out if I liked it or not. What do you guys think? Um, but yeah, so if it does seem like I shake my rear end or flaunt it ish a little bit, you can kind of see from my background, my ass has been a major thing in my in my life, because when I was down, even more so than now, people still complimented that, if nothing else. But obviously I'm an intelligent guy. I'd like to think I'm much more than the thing I'm sitting on right now. I'd like to develop content. Obviously, I have musical talent. I'm very funny. Just because they don't want to, they're just stupid. They're closed minded. They're jealous. It's crazy. And I'm nobody to get jealous of. I'm always trying to fit in with other people. You guys have seen all my flaws on here. I don't keep that private or anything. I am 6'7". Oh, yeah. I don't know how to talk, you guys. That's the biggest point of thing contention with my meds. It controls the amount of words that can spray out of my mouth. It controls mental cohesion. So I've had times where I can stay on topic times 1,000 and I'm super articulate. And then I'll have other times where I can only just dance and answer the occasional question. But then sometimes I don't feel the sense of loss because I'm stable in other ways. So God is helping me in other strange, unique ways. I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to weird anyone out. Um, but on my dance hangout streams, I do just dance half the time, and a lot of that involves shaking my moneymaker. And all the more so when I see the trolls run for the hills when they freak out about it. And I don't like to piss people off, but put yourself in my place. If all it took was the slight shake of my hips to send the trolls screaming and do a tizzy fit, wouldn't you do it as well? I feel like Elvis or something. On the other hand, sometimes I don't know how I come across, and I do care. It's my attitude is a learning attitude. It's not just like, oh, screw you guys for disagreeing with me. No, I let everyone come in here and have their say. Nobody gets blocked unless they shout a bunch of pedo and racist stuff. But I stopped doing panels. I'm not popular on here anymore. I don't go up on other people's panels, just trusted friends, and only if, you know, the vibe is beautiful. And the hardest part about going up and down on stimulant meds for ADHD, you can never just pick up where you left off. I try to have a method to my madness where each day I'm like, I'll try to tackle one thing in every category and it'll build to something eventually. It doesn't always work out even like that. I have to find new platforms of engaging my mind and tricking myself into submission. But at the same token, if I just was obsessed with my goals, I would be disappointed 70% of the time because there's sometimes I fail and I just can't see it coming. I can't envision it. So I get doubly upset. I'm not a narcissist. I just try to talk through things without circling through, and I don't always succeed. But I'm a real guy. Like most guys, just let their pride shine through, and then they cower in the corner when they're off stream. Well, I bring you guys the good, bad, and the ugly because I know you can relate, and I know it's therapeutic for me. So I'm trying to create a win-win. I'm trying to create a nice little community here. Nobody will troll you guys. Uh, Nobody will give you a hard time over here. That being said, please come to my acoustic streams. That's where I actually try. That's my biggest strength overall. My singing actually sounds really good. I haven't played guitar in 10 years, so I'm getting it back into the literal rhythm of things and the swing of it. Oh, could I do another 10 minutes on my butt? I'm trying to. But yeah, that's the thing. So I get the gay thing a lot. Now, a lot of people, different cultures, they're very sensitive to the tank top. And if you combine that with any type of dancing, no matter, to me, it's obvious. I'm emulating Jim Carrey. I'm just being silly. But I think people think it's going to trigger me. In 2026, who's getting triggered by being called gay, whether it's true or not? I mean, I thought gay people were cool now. But whatever. You guys have seen me with women. Yeah, I'm far from gay. But I guess it's a compliment because gay people are known for exercising and taking care of themselves. Um, And if I looked like an old wrinkle bag, nobody would ask whether I was gay or straight because nobody would care. So I guess it's a feather in my cap or something. Well, what do you guys think? What's on your mind today? See, I'm trying to stay on topic to have some benefit. Yeah, totally. But like when I talk about having a small wang, I do that. Yeah, 30% of the time, I do lose confidence based on that alone. But the other time, I'm genuinely asking a question that I want a real, honest answer for. Should I tell women ahead of time that I've got a tiny little white ditty Tootsie Roll down there? Or should I just wait to the big reveal when they jerk my pants down on the second date? And that's a real question I have. Some people think I'm not being serious. No, I'd be cracking up if I was making a joke. I can't, I'm not a good actor. I couldn't lie to you guys if I wanted to. It's because I've been so flaky in the past. I've left people hanging. I've committed to projects and flaked at the last second without meaning to. And that feels so bad for me because emotionally and spiritually, it just eats me alive. But there were things I couldn't control. And I don't know if God will reveal why or not, or it's part of the punishment or the test or whatever it is. The refiner's fire. I don't know. I don't know how to think about it. Oh man, I want more nug. Too lazy to open the child-proof pack. Takes forever. It smells so good. But yeah, I mean, and especially the lifeguard days, then I got to like it. I got nice and tan, and I was looking good. I was proud of myself because I had other areas of my life that were just a 0 out of 10. It was crazy. I had friends unaliving on me. I was getting kicked out of apartments left and right. I was getting fired from jobs left and right. So the only thing I had to cling to was my own rear end. That's funny. But no, they make funny comments like, "Oh, look, you could use his ass as a flotation device, Barbara, if he goes down." Ooh, hee hee. And I loved. I know it's super vapid and it's super shallow, but at that time in my life, I loved the empty compliments that just enveloped me in like a cloud of compliments because it shut out all the negativity that I was pushing through. Um, and again, I know that's wrong. I know that's shallow, bare minimum, but that's why I did it. Have you guys ever done anything like that? I mean, equivalent? But now, if somebody compliments me, I enjoy it, but in a very humble way where I'm like, wow, I'm 1,000 years old. I could be sagging on the ground, but I have to work hard for my ass, especially now. I'm not eating that many calories, so when I do build muscle, sometimes it'll stay for 3 days and drop out, and I'll start losing muscle on my lower back and like falling over when I walk. I'm like, come on. Oh yeah. So I figured out on here you have to have like 3 or 4 fairly successful streams in one category in a row for the algorithm to temporarily or permanently boost you. But if you break your streak, then it stops promoting you and it starts rounding down. And that's what happened this week. Now, the week before last, all of my streams got 150 base level views, no matter what topic they were, no matter how crappy they were, and no matter what the other category was. Whether because in the algorithm there's a big difference between a topical stream where I'm just talking and a full-on concert stream where there's got the drums going and I'm doing harmonies in real time, I'm doing requests, I'm doing all that stuff. But to me that's just another part of my day. But YouTube sees it differently. They're like, no, you could do one thing and one thing only. That's it. Oh, thanks, brother. Well, it's a trade off like everything. And that's why if there's anyone that hates me based on what they think they see, if it makes any of my enemies feel better, I've got a horrible life with crazy hoops of fire I have to jump through each and every day. And yeah, I'm not employed, but it's no vacation. That's my thing I'm trying to get across. At the same token, I know a lot of you guys can relate to me, but upon first glance, you might think I'm a tard or you might think I'm super sophisticated, depending on which stream you go to and when you pop in. You know, like I'll only do an interview with someone if I have questions prepared and I know I'm going to be articulate. You guys should check out the interview I did with this fitness instructor lady on here, which I did have to bite my tongue and be a gentleman because she's very attractive. I tried not to flirt with her. You guys tell me if I did, but she gave me a nice compliment at the end. Um, but I'd like to do that stuff every day, once a week, integrate it. But sometimes even my biggest strengths become weaknesses because I just can't focus. So, in a roundabout way, we tend to think, oh, everyone has one or two things they're good at and maybe suck at everything else, and that's fine. But even the stuff I like music, I'll be bored when I try to practice. I'll get too frustrated if I don't get enough views. There's all these little things, but I should do it because I love it. I'm getting better and it's fun, and I could share the gift of music and joy with other people. Um, I might never get monetized. I think I need uh, 8,000 watch hours. I don't know how doable that is or how that all adds up from the different sources or whatever, but um, yeah. Because my Hangout streams are in the moment and I mostly privatize those, but then the likes and whatever doesn't count in the analytics. It's like the stream never existed, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but yeah, I got ChatGPT Plus. So far, it's worth it. I don't think I could afford to keep it this month, but I started getting all my major life questions answered that I've had for 20 years. And I was intimidated at first. I'm like, no, if I start using it, it could only be bad because then I'll just kick myself for not having started earlier, which is a really stupid reason not to try something, right? Anything. I always look for the negative in everything. Um, but so at first I'm like, I'm just going to use it to make my music list. So I start nerding out like crazy, right? I'm like, oh, give me songs that build up over the course into chaos and trippiness and build atmosphere and intensity, krautrock, psychedelic, jungle jazz from hell combination, and they can do that. But sometimes they'll put the wrong title with the wrong song or band or artist, and they'll make little mistakes. But then I'll say, yeah, give me songs that are between 7 to 15 minutes that take me on a wild journey and build up throughout the course of the song, and then name your genre or combo, and you'll get way more specific results than if you just poked around on your own and just read reviews all day. Um, in my teens, all I ever did was read music reviews because I wasn't allowed to have any of the albums that I wanted. So at night, it sounds really stupid. I would close my eyes and be like, and just picture what the music, what I thought would sound like, um, the theater of the mind. So when I finally went to college, a little ma and pa record store within walking distance, and I couldn't wait for my breaks because I'd go over there and chat it up with the music nerds over there, and I'd find the greatest CDs ever, and great prices but perfect condition. This is long before the days of the Pirate Bay or even Napster. You know, I didn't think free music was on the horizon. I spent all my allowance on it. I spent all my money in my 20s on it, certainly, and beyond. Even invested in some like limited edition remasters, gold plated whatevers. And I don't still have those. I should have kept that as an investment, but I had to move so many times, and each time the boxes of CDs with the cases got heavier and heavier and more. I'm just like, I can't do this. When Pirate Bay came out, I basically threw all my CDs away that same day, which is really dumb. Yeah. And so many of those albums, and now, yeah, because they're stopped producing CDs. So even if it's a popular artist, once those copies are gone, they're gone for good. So in theory, almost every CD could be worth something 5 to 10 years from now, but you never know. Sometimes it doesn't turn out that way. I don't understand how that fluctuates. Like I had a bunch of comic books that I got every year on my birthday and Christmas. My aunt would get me the Costco combo pack that had back issues in like every single one. You know, it was like Marvel, but other Superman stuff. I still have all those in perfect condition. And I took them to get appraised as a comic book nerd. It was like the guy from The Simpsons. And he just kind of gave me the runaround. But now I think I get more accurate if I use Chat GPT, you know. Dang, it's so hard, man, because in the past 2 years, I got really into metal and jazz, and I never touched those genres before. So now I'd have to incorporate all the new stuff I learned. But as far as like my teen and college years, I was in, Smashing Pumpkins, like Melancholy would be up there. But then I love progressive rock. I like super artsy, crazy, psychedelic stuff that has more layers to it. Um, First band I was ever in was Deftones and like Chili Peppers and early Green Day. But now I like German krautrock, like Can, and Faust or Faust, or I don't know how you pronounce it. German name. Frank Zappa, Pharoah Sanders, John Coltrane. With country, nah, I could never get. I went through a rap phase. When I was little, I had to sneak in my MC Hammer cassette, and that was pretty G-rated, right? And then he tried to be gangster on his follow-up, and he spent way too much money on properties and mansions, and he had to file for bankruptcy or something. Saw that VH1 special. Yeah, but as a kid, my grandpa taught me about old records and Frank Sinatra, and I would pretend to be doing my homework. I'd just be crouched down on the floor with my ear glued to the thing because I couldn't turn it up past one, or they'd hear all the raunchy lyrics. So it was always everything was an uphill battle in my family, just to try to get the most basic thing done, and I'm still feeling the reverberations to this day to a degree. Literal reverberations. One time I thought they weren't home, so I cranked up that Cake song that has the F word in it from the Fashion Nugget album. I think that came out between like 94 and 97 or something. That's a great album. Uh, they're kind of a playful, happy ish type band from San Francisco, but it my stepmom came through the door right at the F bomb, was cranked all the way, and she just comes up, says, "Give me the CD," and she like, smashes it fucking like on the ground. I'm like, "Fuck you." Uh, at the same time, I'm like, I go on the defense. I'm like, no, no, no. It's only that one song and the one album, and I didn't even know it was there. And because in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, another time and place, if I would have played the other songs on the record, they would have enjoyed them. Clean lyrics. But with them, it was a matter of principle. They were so close-minded. Even though they listened to that stuff or worse in their teens and beyond, I wasn't allowed to listen to it. But then I grew up for the whole new. I was in the grunge scene, but then the whole new metal thing, like Rage and Korn and Limp Bizkit, Deftones. But that doesn't have much staying power. I don't really listen to that stuff anymore. But I'm not a snob. There's a time and place for simple music to rev me up in the beginning of the day. I know. But yeah, so back to the bum stories. I used to be part of this crazy community. I'm not gonna say the name. I don't want to glorify it. When I first came on the scene, and the women were trying to get me to put up this tasteful picture of my backside. It's like from far away. It's like really artistic shot, but you can see the definition, and you can see the dimples on the hips and the buns, but also the roundness. And it's the best picture of my butt. No Photoshop, no touch ups at all. And I really like it because I'm really proud of it. It's very distinctive. Like if you guys saw it, you would think it was AI, but I swear it's. uh, but yeah, I would never lie about my ass because when women see me in person, the expectations are pretty high. So I like to deliver when I can. So if they're dropping my drawers and I've got some square butt, it's not gonna fly. But it gives you something nice to hold on to during the lovemaking session. But I'm still more of a foreplay guy. I just love to make the magic last. Ugh. Oh, but they're like, okay, go and use that as your thumbnail for your workout stream. And you'll get a lot of attention from the ladies. And I did it. And I was blushing like crazy because I had like dozens of women come in here. It's like, oh, let me have a slice of those buns. But I didn't want to feel like I was stuck up but the picture really resonated with a lot of people. But then my haters would try to say I was a flasher or whatever. But the picture is super tasteful. You can't even tell what it is unless you're looking closely because it's so far away, or not super far, but like if I was standing completely on the other side of my room, you know. But it looks like a shot, like a painting, you know. And that's what I like about it mostly, not just the tight buns, but I really worked hard on my squats. I didn't know you could emphasize that muscle to that degree, and it would be so pliable and so um, I don't know what there is. I thought I'd have to work 6 months just to see one molecule of results, but every bit of results, it's not the way it looks; it's the way it feels. So much more. I get so much more value from my stride and my extra endurance and stamina. I'm O'Grady. How dare you? Where'd you get that theory from? I'm not that articulate. I don't think I couldn't just go on and on about stuff like the way he or she does. Oh, oh. Oh, you think so? That's an interesting theory. Well, Daria's always been cool to me. I think she's going live tonight. I'm trying not to watch some of those streams. You know, they're just so addicting. But when they are, they take away from real stuff in life, and it could sneak up on any of us. You know. I know it's powerful. Green smiley, you gotta love it. Yeah, so I guess that's it for that stupid topic. I don't know, you guys. I don't know how this stuff fits together. If I was smart, I'd just do shorts every day. But even then, I get bored. You know, uh, I gotta sell my single interface because I got a double one. I got the Scarlet. Somebody got me. It's so good. and it really makes the sound quality so much better when you're doing music. I didn't know. I thought if a mic's over $100, it's gonna sound okay on a guitar singing thing because it's a very simple thing I'm trying to do. It's not like I'm doing electric guitar with a million different effects like a lot of these guys do. I want to do that eventually because I'm now. If you see my concert streams, I open up just playing lead guitar to backing tracks and playing blues and stuff, and then I'll grab the acoustic and start singing and taking requests. So that's what I'm going to do today. It'll be a very beautiful thing. Oh no, I want more. It's amping me up too much. But everyone should be a lifeguard in their 20s, at least for a season or two. It's the best. Like you meet the best people. It's just pretty cool. And you could choose to ignore someone and just like pretend like say, "Hey, I'm just doing my job." So then you're like the king of cool when they see you're stuck up in a good way. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Stuck up in a good way. You know what I mean? See, my lack of confidence can sometimes come in handy though, because I'm very empathetic towards other people because I've been through it all. I don't want anyone else to experience what I have. So I try to share in that thingy to make up for it a little bit. Um, in person, I'm much more confident. Like, you know, but everything has to be planned and fulfilled the same day. I can't like plan a stream for a week from now and fulfill it, even though that's what I did. But I postponed the ones I was supposed to do yesterday, pushed them out another week. I don't know what's going to come from that. I think I'm doing another Carmelo Anthony one, but I'm doing a JDon controversy. JDon. Because these bread catcher communities are full of hypocrisy, and people are just now waking up, even the hardcore fans of these specific channels. And